Hello everybody, it's Refresh, and I am 1 and 2 with this Black-Red Sacrifice deck. Obviously not doing so well this time around, and I'm hoping I can get some redemption very soon. We'll go ahead and jump right in, see if we can recover from my 2 game losses. Oh, we have an opponent already, that was fast. We are being matched evenly against Glob Mob, also in bronze, wearing the Rafine face. I believe that's the character's name. Ooh, this is bad. We don't have one of our colors. We have an off color. But you know what? I might just keep this because I can cast Splatter Goblin. If I draw another black, I can cast Urg, Spawn of Turg. I'm a little bit more black heavy than red. And I have some removal here, and that actually works well with what I'm doing. So we're going to keep this, and I hope I can just keep drawing lands. Preferably a swamp and a mountain. This is my splash land though, so oh, there's my mountain. Alright. I guess I can't complain about that. I maybe should have played the mountain and flowstone infusion to one of my opponent's creatures. If I don't, yeah, that might be a mistake here, but we'll see. The Splatter Goblin's pretty annoying to my opponent right now because if it dies, it can kill the Battlefly Swarm. And so we're happy to play that. So they can't kill this right now without 2-4ing themselves, because they're going to play a card to kill this, and then it'll kill the Battlefly Swarm. They do have a whole lot going on here, so I don't know if that I'm necessarily a great place. Alright, alright. I'm imagining they hold so that... Interesting. Okay, maybe they're just trying to race me here then. If we just draw one more, we could actually play this here. But I can also Bone Splinters and kill both of these. I don't think that's worth it right now. So let's go ahead and attack. I'm okay with trading this for the Soaring Drake. And that would be a bad situation for them, so probably not going to do that either. We'll go ahead and play this for now. And then we'll hold Flowstone Infusion in case we need to kill something. X2 something. They're going to have a slight slow on they're not going to be as good on the race as I am, because I have 4 to their 3, but they are going first, so they have a slight advantage on me in regards to that. If they play an X2, I will gladly kill it with Flowstone Infusion. I might also just kill the Cult Construct to kill any creature that they play that's of any value or merit here. Okay, they kept everything in hand, so that's not as good for me, but again, I'm winning this race, so I'm happy to attack here. And I have, again, Flowstone Diffusion to take out something if I need to. Are they going to play... they don't have stall for time because that's white. Maybe they have a stun effect? No. So they are choosing to race me, I'm guessing. This is bad that I stumped on mana here. But I think I'm okay here because, again, I'm winning this race. And if my opponent plays X2 that I can kill with Flowstone, if they play something bigger, then I can sack the Cult's Conscript to kill it. And that's not actually the worst thing in the world. We're also, like, they're just in there and I'm just on the ground. And so I think that this is not the worst place to be right now. Alright, so now they're keeping back a defender because they can see that I'm going to win this race. They've also drawn all the lands, which means that I have a bunch of cards that are stuck in my hand that I can't cast. Alright, alright. Okay. So we are going back on the race here. I could shoot this and attack, but I think trading the Cult Conscript or the Splatter Goblin for the Soaring Drake and finishing it off with the Flowstone Infusion might not be the worst thing in the world here. So we'll go ahead and attack right now. We can also just play Soul of Windgrace as an option here as well. But I think I want to play Turg first because it lets me put lands in the graveyard. We'll see how they choose to block here, if they do. Yeah, I think that's a fair play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tempt a trade here. It's a 2-for-1 in one sense because I'm trading 2 of my cards for 1 of their cards. However, it actually would net me or 1/1 because I can recast this from my graveyard. Okay, so they're choosing to take this trade. They might have another spell, perhaps. They do have a lot of open mana. Perhaps they have an Essence Scatter. Okay, they've done that. So I think they may Essence Scatter me. I might just recast this because I do have a slight advantage here on the board. Yeah. Oh, it can't cast itself. So I'll just cast Spawn Turg. I'm guessing that they're going to counter this. That's fine because I'd rather have this counter than the Soul of Windgrace, not Lord Windgrace. Okay, they don't have it. I guess this isn't really much of a threat right now. But this will help in putting lands in the graveyard, which will then help me. That's fine. This is really here as an engine for Soul of Windgrace. So if I throw a land in the graveyard and cast this. Alright, so I have to hope that they don't have a counterspell here. Alright. Do I have a land? That is not a land. But I will throw this in the graveyard because that can get something else back out of my graveyard. So this is good. This is a good start here. We are going to... I don't know if I want to trade my Battlefly Goblin for the my Splatter Goblin for their Battlefly Swarm. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Then I can pull back the Cult Conscript. The other option I can do is just play Soul of Windgrace. I don't have a way to protect it, which is kind of too bad. So I think we swing with the Battlefly Goblin. We'll pull back the Cult Conscript, and then we'll see what happens. My opponent is kind of flooding, so I need to take advantage of this while I can. So they're going to make this trade, I presume. Yeah, and that's fair. Okay, we're going to play the Cult Conscript because it comes back for basically 3. And then we are going to hold. We can sack a land, actually. And we might do that just to gain some life and then be able to pull it back with Soul of Windgrace. And this can be the mountain because it's the least useful one of my lands here. Okay. So I guess that they are... we will sack this tapped mountain. Gain some life. And I will dump the mountain in the yard. Happy not to draw that. We drew a swamp anyways. So we're gonna go to combat and we'll attack. I'm trying to keep my opponent off kilter here. Because if they play something, then I want to kill it. We're gonna play... I think we play out, though. I need to put a hole in this game. This is kind of the only way I'm going to do so. Now, if they have counterspell, that's that. I do have a regrowth type effect in the graveyard. They don't have it. We'll go ahead and grab this and put this back on. And then we have Bone Splinters if we need it. We have multiple threats here. We can sack a card to put Urg in the graveyard. We have ways to remove anything that they play. We don't care about that. I think that's a fair play. That's a good play. But I'll just get Lord Windgrace back with Eerie Soul Tender, so that's fine with me. Unless they can eat it from my graveyard, but I don't know that they have that. I guess they can recast the Cult Conscript. That's a way. Okay, bounce that guy, sure. No problem. Okay, so you got this 4. You untap. Do I want the 2-drop? I don't think he's doing very much. They have this guy and this one. View browser. Let's pitch him and see if I can get something better. I drew a land, which is less good, but that's fine. We will go ahead and reclaim Lord Winggrace. Play the Cult Conscript. And then I'm going to hold this to pitch to Lord Winggrace on the turn. Again, I have removal for good cards, if they play any. They are flooding massively. I guess they'll play this back. Under your control this turn. Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep Squee. Squee is great. If I play Lord Windgrace, then I'll have 2 mana. I have 1 land in here, which will come into the battlefield tapped. And then I'll play the 3rd mana, which will be that, and okay. So we're gonna play Squee first. Yep. Squee goes in. And this is gonna be really annoying to my opponent as well. And then we'll swing with just these 2 and that. I think that's fine. If they don't kill anything, then I can Bone Splinters. We want to keep this. Now I have multiple things I can Bone Splinters. Yeah. Probably killing Squee is my guess. Which is fine. I'll get him back later. Sure. Okay. Then we Solar Windgrace. We can get Squee back again, easy. Guess we'll get a land back. Another removal. Got a lot of removal spells. Do I want this back? Sure. Okay. I need another land. Maybe I should have left it in there, but that's fine. I can just get a bunch of lands with Urg, Spawn of Turg. So that's not the worst thing in the world. If they play a good threat, then I have Bone Splinters. If they're not, no, we'll pitch the Bone Splinters. Okay, they've given up. They're just drawing badly, and they flooded really hard, and I would have just eventually punched them down. So I think that's a fair choice on their part. I would have given up there too, especially if I just drew more lands, which I'm presuming that they did. And that is it. I've finally pulled out of being in the negatives here, so we're 2-2 now. We got a Mastery Orb. We'll do that. We'll open some packs. I forgot to do that last night. Sorry about that. Let's see. Did I get all my commons? I need the blue common and Urborg Repossession, and, well, I know I have this in my deck, so I'm going to take this now. I'd like to get up to here to get all these faces, I guess. Those are pretty cool. These are just card backs. I thought they were special whatever's for cards I already have. And that's it. Looks like I completed one of my objectives. And we'll open some packs and we'll call it a night. Here we go. We're going to open 2 Dominaria United packs. The first one will get us all of these things here. Yeah, I think the Defiler of Faith is an easy first pick here. I do like the Neshoba Brawler. Fires of Victory can be good in the right deck. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to cry if I take a Geothermal Bog first, but Defiler of Faith is just so strong. It's a 5/5. White has a lot of good possible strategies in it. And the fact that whenever you cast a white spell, it gets you a 1/1 white creature, that's just great value. And I would take that easily first there. All right, here we go. We are looking at Urtai's Scorn, which I don't like as far as counterspell goes. I think it's not as good as Essence Scatter, just because it costs 3. Yes, you can counter everything, but the special discount that you get only happens when your opponent casts 2 or more spells in a given turn, which is probably gonna have to be their turn, and that's just probably not as good, especially because you're gonna counter something that's relatively cheap if they're casting 2 spells at a time. The Lagomos I like a lot because it creates a 2/1 creature that you can sacrifice and use it for things like Bone Splinters. This goes really well in my deck right now, as does Phyrexia and Rager. I think these are both really strong cards here, and they are both probably going to be my choice for the pick. And between the 2 of them, I would actually take Phyrexia and Rager first, just because one, it's a single color card, which means that it's more flexible in what kind of deck that you place it in, and two, it's a 2-for-1. Like, it's a guaranteed 2-for-1 you draw a card when you play it. Whereas Lagomos gets you like a quasi 2-for-1. You get a 2/1 red elemental creature token, which if you design your strategy around it really well, then it is quite valuable, because you can sack that creature token for multiple effects, or you can use it with Garna, who then it'll attack and it'll die and draw a card. So it's basically a free card draw. And so that's all great. But this is, again, locks you into this strategy that is black and red. And I think that Phyrexian Rager's flexibility is just better for the first pick. And so I would take Phyrexian Rager first. I would not say that you made a mistake by taking Lagomos here, but I think all the other cards here don't really hold up to those two. I guess that's an argument for Captain's Call if you really like tokens, but that's just going to lock you right into that deck. And so these two are probably the best cards here, and this is probably the best card amongst them in terms of flexibility for your first draft in the first pick. And so that is going to be it from me tonight. Let me know what you thought about the game in the comments below. If you enjoyed this stream, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of my streams, you can hit subscribe. This is Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Good night.